Hey, Dan.
Hey, Shell. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
It has. How are you? Hey, Christy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Dan was just saying it's been a long time since he's seen me. It's been forever since I've seen you.
No, absolutely. How are y'all doing?
Doing great.
Oh, rocking and rolling. Busier than ever, it seems.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, Christy, your Zoom background is appearing to us reversed.
Backwards?
Yep.
No, just like every other time it does this, but I will take care of it. Okay.
Mr. Israel,
Mr. Holtz.
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing well.
The other Shell.
Shell number one. We go by age.
I'm working with only a background that is actually my room. I mean, you guys are getting so snazzy on me.
Well, so yeah, I've been doing some other different live streaming and stuff, and so I did wind up with a green screen behind me, and so then of course I could do other things. So yeah, what it actually looks like is that. So you can't see the nice shelves anymore that have all my globes on.
Oh, your
them,
globes, right?
Yeah.
And I just got tired of seeing my office in the background, so I have a green screen as well.
At some point in the next hour, I will again be updated by Jesse the Wonder Dog, who will come over my left shoulder.
We'll just give it a few minutes for other folks to arrive. I know Phil Gomes said he was going to participate, which I thought was
wow.
awesome. Here's Tom Murphy just showed up.
I'm going to drop video for a moment, but I'll be back.
Sure. And here comes Tom. Yeah, Neville will be joining us a little late today. He had an overlapping call from work.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Surviving.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So far, anyway.
We'll take it.
Nobody's broken my arm because I asked them to wear a mask, so.
Yeah.
He's waiting for a couple other folks to show up. Neville, I was mentioning, is going to be a little late. He had a conflicting call with work, which I guess comes first.
What's amusing is, yeah, it's so we both work at the same place, of course, but I'm not in whatever call he's in. So
clearly,
I was like, oh, okay, there's another call. Well, whatever.
What is this thing called work you speak of?
The thing that consumes all of my spare time. Well, all of my time. Forget spare.
100%.
I have no spare time. We are on top of everything else that's always going on, in the thick of communication around return to the office. Whenever that may be, we want to be ready. We want to have all the protocols in place. I've been developing a training module using Articulate Storyline 3.
You're a phase 2 company, though, right? Stage 2 company, so you should be opening up soon.
Well, our projects are open, with one or two exceptions where the owners aren't ready to open. But construction was deemed essential in the Bay Area, the 6 counties in Berkeley, on the last emergency order. LA never shut down, so they had construction as essential all along. Our argument has been that we know how to work safe. We do that all the time. We're always on projects where there are conditions that are new, that require new safety protocols to be developed. This is not a problem for us. We can work safely, and they listened this time around. So what is the SHLB Coalition?
Is it in somebody's background?
No, it's somebody who's waiting to be admitted. And I thought, let's see if I can do just a message to, no, I can only message. I thought I could check people who were in the waiting room. All right, let me see what that is. Little Google research here.
You mean you don't want a guy with a red hat coming in here or something like that?
I have a red hat. Would you like me to go get it?
The SHLB Coalition's mission, leading champions for open, affordable broadband. Oh, is that where? I
Oh,
don't think
cool.
that's Schools, Health, and Libraries Broadband Coalition. I think I
There we
will
go.
allow that person in.
We
I
like
always
them.
bounce them if they're a problem.
Just don't give them the secret handshake.
I'm not going to give any handshake. What are you kidding?
They have a nice logo.
Hey.
Hello. Sorry about my screen name.
Yeah, we were sitting here going, who is this? Should we let them in? Then I looked it up and
Oh, yeah, I realized after I clicked on it that I might still be logged into the organization Zoom account, and
Yeah.
sure enough.
well, interestingly,
There we go.
the day we got Zoom bombed, the reason I couldn't deal with it quickly was that I was logged into my work account and I was just another participant. I had no host controls. So
Oh,
I know
well,
how that goes.
I promise I'm not here to bomb anybody.
No.
Here to be a respectful participant in the conversation.
We don't want you to be respectful. Don't worry about that.
Oh gosh, okay, I might have to leave then.
Yeah. I just looked up SHLP and said, oh, okay, I know who that is.
We were admiring your logo too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Wish I could take credit.
In fact, we should actually talk somewhere here because we are aligned. I'm working at the Internet Society, so we have similar things about connecting people. So
Yeah. I'm a listener, so I've heard the reports, and I heard that when I wondered what part of the Internet Society you work with. So we've had a couple of great partnerships with the NYC office.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Somebody
sure.
named Jolie McPhee up there. Oh, you
So-
know.
well, Jolie actually manages our live streaming, and he actually reports to me and as a contractor. So yes, I know Jolly very well. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he live streams webinars that we do from time to time. So we always appreciate that.
that he does.
Bill
Yeah.
Spaniel's joining us.
5 webinars we're streaming today, actually, about a launch of a global encryption coalition.
Oh boy.
Cool.
So all sorts of things going on.
Yeah.
So how is everybody? Now that there are enough of us here to have a Zoom chat type conversation.
Yeah,
Everybody-
for us, it's planning time of the year. So it's interesting, I would say. Everyone's looking into their crystal ball, trying to work out how it's all going to come back online and how it's all going to work. And no one really has an idea. So there's a lot of guessing going on. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks.
I was reading an interesting piece about you guys, Tom, the number of passwordless logins to Microsoft services has hit some milestone.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah. I have it in my feeds of things to possibly talk about when Neville and I record the show on Saturday.
I have to get educated on that. But yeah, it's a strange time of the year. And I mean, finance people and everyone's scratching their heads about where it's going to go, how quickly it's going to come back. And in Microsoft, we're on the people side, so we're the consulting business. So
Right.
very much a kind of everyone's working remotely, which is kind of not the usual standard operating order. And then how do people get back and when do they get back?
Yep.
So like
Yeah,
that.
I was mentioning before you joined us that we're in the thick of that. That's not instead of other work I was doing. It's now in addition to other work I was doing.
Yeah, for the company in Washington State, the tech companies will be last to go back because they reckon we can all operate remotely. So Amazon, Microsoft, all those and the smaller companies won't be going back for quite a while. But these are actually consultants going on site with customers and how you work through that. So that's kind
Right.
of
Well, I saw IBM did a survey and found 54% of working adults want to continue working from home after the whole emergency is over. And Twitter, I don't know if you saw this, they basically said, if you're able to work from home, you can forever.
Wow.
Bill, you sound like a chipmunk and we can't understand you.
I like that feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Bill,
that
we
something you chose?
It's something you ate.
You may need to change your
Reconnect or
microphone input
something.
or log out, log back in or something, but
Is
give it a
this
shot.
better?
There you
There
go.
you go.
Okay? I'm using computer mic instead of the head mic now.
Okay. Yeah, that was very, very Alvin and Theodore and Simonish.
I apologize. I just didn't want you to get the background noise. My gardener is coming around doing the lawn mowing right now, so that could interfere. But
That was my life for a couple of years while we were recording FIR. When we recorded was exactly the time my neighbor's gardener was.
yeah. No, anyway, I just wanted to comment about the Twitter announcement yesterday, and I thought that was the greatest thing. I long ago, more than 30 years ago, I read Alvin Toffler's book about what the future shock.
Future shock.
Future shock.
And
Yeah.
he was predicting that we would all be, most of us would be working out of our homes or closer to our homes than they do now.
Yep.
And I think, as bad as the COVID-19 is, and all the pandemic and the quarantine and everything else like that, I think if there's one good thing that comes out of it, it is that more people are going to be working from their homes and reduce congestion on our highways, and it's going to be a great thing in the long run.
The other thing that I heard is that there may be more construction of smaller office buildings so that you're working in a hub close to you rather than commuting all the way to where the main office is. I don't know if that's going to play out, but it was one bit of speculation I read.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah, I
my
looked at-
former employer before I retired was the California Society of CPAs, and over the years they gradually allowed more and more people to work from off-site, but they have to come into their offices at least once or twice a week to have meetings or whatever. But I think now that with the quarantine and everything, they're getting used to people working completely out of their houses, home apartments or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be what they're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah, I've been. For me, it's I've been working out of a home office for about 15 years now, so it's kind of normal. But I'm missing being able to leave my home, and go down to the coffee shop or go to work somewhere else. We have a beautiful, gorgeous public library that was here in the town where I am in Vermont that was completed last year. And I worked in it for a little while. It was great, beautiful space. But so I'm looking forward to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I miss going to the office, frankly. Just running into people and that serendipitous interaction. So when we're able to go back, more to the point, when I'm able to go back, because it'll be later than everyone else, because I am at double risk, according to my boss. I'll probably work a couple days in the office and 3 days at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You asked how we were
I've done
doing.
some.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I've done some communication change management consultings to organizations who plan these office moves 18 months to 2 years in advance, just to give proper notice and get everybody ready. And I'm, not all anxious. And sometimes that also involves some people would have to move to a home office. Now I'm thinking, wait, a year and a half notice. We've done this in like a matter of weeks, and it's just normal.
And it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
I was talking to one of our project directors yesterday, and he was saying, I don't understand now that we have figured out that we can do this, why we won't keep doing it. We have a task force, volunteer employees. We've put out a call for volunteers to come up with a telecommuting policy ongoing. So we'll see.
I recall going to the IABC convention in Toronto during the year of the SARS situation.
Yep.
And my boss told me that if I went to Toronto for the conference and I came back and they had people in my office be concerned that I would bring back the SARS virus and so forth, that I would have to work out of the house. And I said, could you please explain to me what the disadvantage is here?
Right. And did they?
No, so no, nobody nobody was concerned. In fact, I thought that conference was one of the best conferences I've ever attended.
Toronto was great that year.
Yeah, it featured several of the PR people from the local hospitals explaining how they handled crisis from their perspective. It really, really.
I'm trying to
I
remember
think,
if that was also
Yeah,
the conference.
the Fauci of Canada was here at that time. I forget her name. The chief medical officer of health, and she spoke at the IBC conference, and it was just excellent. And it was, well, in June.
Yeah.
And all this was happening all around the same time, same season. So it was amazing. But I still am amazed at how that particular incident was, Hong Kong, Toronto, Philippines, there weren't too many cities. And this one has really been a global pandemic, and it has had a much, much different effect on the world. Even though apparently SARS is more deadly, or was, I guess new information is available every day, but it's just fascinating to me.
SARS has a very short incubation period and a very high lethal rate. I think 3 or 4 times higher, but it doesn't spread as far before it's discovered in the next victim. So it's easier
Right.
to.
Well, you're sick with it.
Yeah.
That's what part of it. Yeah, you don't spread it without knowing you have it.
COVID-1, these guys in Wisconsin go home, they hug, they do whatever they want to do for 5 to 7 days. Spreading wherever they go. Doesn't mean everyone will catch it, but every time they cough, every time there's moisture coming out of some orifice in them, they're creating a danger. And the fact that you feel fine and you're infecting all these people is what's so deadly about what we have. This is really hard because states like Florida, they look like they flattened the curve. They look like they're doing just fine. And it may be that vitamin D is helping them and no one yet can prove that or disprove it. But this is a tough one because it's like the deadliest thing. I'm doing a lot of research these days on cybersecurity, and mutant viruses lay inside your computer for 6 months doing absolutely nothing. Except every time you connect with somebody else, it goes with whatever you send to them, where it does absolutely nothing for a period of months. And then it strikes out. That's what COVID-19 is doing. Everybody's fine. Let's drink, let's party, let's go to the beach. And all the time you're leaving a trail of spreading germs. It's really scary, especially when you have so many incompetent decision makers.
I heard the World Health Organization spokesman last night saying we might need to prepare to just live with this ongoing.
I just heard.
Yeah, it's my daughter is set to go off to school in the fall, in heading up to Fredericton, New Brunswick, to go to St. Thomas University School up there. But yeah, right now we're in that case of will that school open or not? And they're not even sure, and the province of New Brunswick isn't sure, and we're not even sure if the Canadian border will be open, and all these different kinds of things. So it's a lot of questions of what it will be like.
And on a completely different topic related to that, St. John's is gorgeous. It's a beautiful part of the.
It is. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world up there. It's it's a 9-hour drive for us from where we are here in Vermont, but it's a once you get past all the trees, which is.
I did a talk for the Canadian Automobile Association at the Fairmont in St. John's, and
okay.
Yeah, they had to pry me out of there to get me to go back to the airport and go home.
Yeah, she's a little bit farther north up in Fredericton, but Fredericton's a beautiful little city and it's the capital of New Brunswick and all that. So you asked how we were doing at the beginning, and I don't know about you all, but I'm busier than ever. I think it's, especially as everybody wants to get more things online and they want to do more online events and they want to do all of that. My responsibilities with the Internet Society are managing a team that manages our websites. So everybody wants more stuff online, means more that we're trying to figure out how to do all that. So it's just been crazier than.
One of the articles that I have, I don't know if all of you know, but I save articles in a Tumblr blog that I want to consider for use in the show. And let's see if I can find this one real quick. There it is. I can share the screen on this.
Shell has the share screen power.
I do know.
Oh, I think everybody has the share
Oh, actually,
screen.
you did give it to us. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
No, you disabled attendees screen sharing. You don't want us
Did
to
I?
bomb
Okay.
you. Yeah, you did.
I think that may have been the upgrade from.
It did. Yeah, you now have to specifically go into security and give us all the ability.
Right, because I had it before, but I think that upgrade probably did it. Oh, I think I shared the wrong screen. What are you seeing?
Employee burnout.
Oh, you are seeing employee burnout. Good. Okay.
And a box to let us know if we're interested in getting CXO or something.
Well, I'll close that. But yeah, that's what I was showing from Tech Republic, that 73% of professionals reported being burned out. So.
Well, I think
there's no off switch. Everything's we could be online at any time, and I find myself even, on a Friday afternoon as I'm thinking, should do something. Something's really only due Monday. I realize, oh, you know what? I could take the rest of Friday off. As long as I do it Saturday or Sunday, and then I'm up till midnight on one of those days, which is fine for my lifestyle. But some people, or even myself, sometimes I could be working all hours, day and night, without, I look up at 2 and I realize, oh wait, I'm hungry. Maybe I should eat breakfast.
Well, when I was self-employed, it was not uncommon for me to come downstairs at 5:30 and say, I'm just going to check my email before I go brush my teeth and take a shower. And then I'd look up at the clock and it was 11.
Yeah.
I just hadn't stopped.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
To what Dan was saying about being busy, I was just on an internal presentation, and there's almost like I'll call it a third life for second life kind of apps there, virtual conferences like what the IBC's having, and a lot of companies now are looking into that. They used to have benefits fairs or things like that where various vendors would come to help with wellness and all this, and it would be in a trade conference center or something. And now these virtual fairs, it looks like those are starting to take off, and there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, those have been around a long time, but they never really caught fire. Also, I've been spending a little time. I need to do more because I haven't really figured it out yet, but AltSpace VR with my Oculus Quest puts you in a real virtual environment. Everybody looks like a cartoon character, but
let's just think about that language for a minute. A real virtual.
Yes, as opposed to on your computer screen, you are immersed. Let's use that word. It puts you in an immersive environment, which is good because you feel like you're somewhere rather than sitting in your kitchen looking at your laptop screen.
Well, yeah. So actually, just to jump back to what Jeff was saying and actually building on what I was saying, part of, I think, the challenge with the burnout factor too is that we're not only working, but we have all the other, why I was running a little late for this was childcare, and needing, I had to upload something for my daughter before her 1 p.m. meeting with her teacher, and I had forgotten about it. So I had to go rush and do that. So there's that added factor. And to Jeff's point, I've wound up shifting my time around sometimes where I'm doing something with my, going on a 2-hour walk with my kid, one of my daughters, because this was part of her project. And then I'm winding up working late at night to accommodate that type of thing. Hey, Neville.
Hey, Neville.
Hey, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Just time to log out of my business account and into my personal account, grab a can of Coke, and I'm here.
Well, anyway, see you back to Jeff, or to your point, Shell. Neville, you would like this. He was just talking about real virtual meetings or immersive meetings.
We know about those, don't we, Dan?
Yeah, virtually real meetings too.
Well, and about VR.
Yeah, I've been in AltSpace VR trying to figure my way around. And it literally, there's a speaker, you're sitting next to people. You can turn your head and see who's sitting next to you on the left and who's sitting next to you on the right. And actually, you don't have to sit because you're not tired from standing. But it seems to work really well. It's come a long way. But to your point, Dan, I'm going to see if I can find this article. I shared this article with my boss, who is the Senior VP of Human Resources. And it's about dealing with a sort of an implicit bias. Here it is, caregiver bias. It's a Fast Company article. I'll pull it up here. And share it. And I did give sharing to everybody, by the way. So there it is. It's a Fast Company article that talks about, virtual VR training as a way to build empathy. But it absolutely talks in here. Career parents now struggling to juggle work and family responsibilities. 31% of fathers reported caregiving during the quarantine is extremely difficult. But, when considering who can come back to the office and who will be able to stay home, are we going to, as a matter of policy in our organization, start to consider those who have childcare needs?
I work with a nonprofit with just about 22 employees, and we're finding it's not just childcare, but it's care of parents. A lot of us have elderly parents that we
Elder
are.
Care, sure.
I was at my mom's this morning to help her with a Zoom call with a doctor because she couldn't figure it out. So, yeah, I mean, that's a demand on both sides. But our CEO has the same thing, so at least we're not getting different demands from her than she would put on herself.
So, there's the increasing burnout from employees because we're not commuting, we're just starting work. And I think we talked last week or the week before, an average of 3 hours extra work for employees while they're going through this. Another interesting article I found that we may talk about on Saturday when Neville and I record is the whole idea of company purpose. And there was an article I read that said that there's going to be long memories about how you behaved as a brand during this. And I think that's probably true. I can find that.
It's interesting to me that you bring up purpose, because my organization's also a nonprofit mission is broadband for every school, library, healthcare organization, or other anchor institution and their entire community. So essentially digital equity eventually. So now this crisis has really underscored how important that mission is. So it's been interesting to see all of these articles about thinking about how you participate in the COVID-19 conversation when we're kind of saying, hey, this is what we've been telling you the whole time.
And this is the article I found to all the purpose-driven businesses. We will remember you. It's pretty good. I mean, all of this is publicly available. My my link blog on Tumblr is accessible. But I thought this was really interesting, is talking about how a lot of companies are out there doing very generic, broad, we're in this together, but then there are companies doing very tangible things that help right now. And consumers are going to be able to distinguish between somebody who's trying to sound like they're really behind all of this and the companies that genuinely are.
In our area, one of the biggest is our grocery chain, H-E-B, that's big in Texas. But what they have done, both for employees and for customers to keep people safe and all of that, it is so obvious to everybody in town that their brand is certainly elevated. It's not a surprise because they were already really connected to the community, but it's just been tremendous what they have done. And so I know they're going to be one of the winners in how they've responded.
Phil, Good to see you.
Is that Phil Gomes? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
It is.
Phil.
Hello, gang. How are you?
Phil.
Long time.
Wow.
Long time.
Long time.
10 years
Yeah.
probably, I think.
Yeah,
Long
yeah,
time.
at least. At least.
Good to see you.
I think there may be people here who don't know you, Phil. You want to introduce yourself?
Phil Gomes. I've known Phil and Neville for eons.
Through the Society for New Communication Research
Right,
initially.
right through Snicker. That's right. 2005 or so. That makes it. And I was at Edelman at the time. I left as recently as September 2018, and now I work for a company called Block, which is a blockchain and crypto infrastructure company headed up by one of the earliest contributors to Bitcoin. So, thus here I am.
Mm-hmm.
And in Chicago, right?
Correct. Yes.
I know
So
when Chris Gallagher joins us from Chicago, she likes to point out that your mayor has become the best of the memes around all of this.
But
yes.
and with a much bigger beard there, Phil, that I recall from before when I saw you.
Oh, hey, Dan. Hey, yeah, it's this isn't a quarantine thing. This is this is more or less permanent. But yeah, no, we've been sheltering in place here, and I think this is day 62. So, but this is the Mad Attic. This is I built this into a walk-in closet, actually. So it's
cool.
I find that anybody who's even people who are used to working from home, or people who are new to it, it's everybody says that you ought to have a dedicated place to work, right? If you can't, try not to work in your bedroom, try not to work, and I think that's generally great advice for people that have the space. But I think the other piece of it that I think a lot of people miss is that you also just have to surround yourself with like various creature comforts and that sort of thing. So it's not just about the space, but what you fill it with. Yeah. And so I've got my guitars, my posters, and then over here I keep a collection of coffee cups that bear the logos of evil companies in science fiction. So let's see how nerdy this group is. How about anybody?
Nope.
I recognize that.
No,
okay, that would be OCP from RoboCop.
RoboCop was the first movie that came into my mind when you said that, but I didn't recognize that logo.
Okay, this is a softball. Come on, guys.
Oh, come on, Terminator.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He'll be back, yeah.
Okay, here's a good one.
Tyrell, of course.
Tyrell
Yes.
Corporation. That's Blade Runner, yeah.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Okay, here's a toughie. Nobody gets this one.
What does that say? Wayland Yutani Corp. Building Better Worlds. Is that
That's not Westworld, is it?
No, that's Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're the only one to get that. No. Nobody's ever gotten that one.
Yeah. I remember. I watched Aliens recently. That's probably how it came to me, actually, Phil. Yeah. But
nope, don't know that one.
Don't know that one.
That's Robert Wagner's company in Austin Powers.
Ah. Cool.
Okay. This one's a toughie.
Benthic Petroleum.
Something deep seas.
Aha, yes.
Don't know.
In this contest, we've encountered one of this director's movies already, if that gives you a hint.
It's something with deep sea habitats or something. Is
it the one that Ed Harris was in?
Abyss.
Yeah.
Abyss.
Yes.
Abyss.
Yes.
Right. Well done.
Yeah, all right. Cool. How about?
I had the movie. I couldn't remember the title.
Good rewatchability.
Nope.
Got to.
Ew. Mugatu from Zoolander.
That's right.
Excellent.
I had no idea anybody made all of these.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, where did you get these, Phil? I mean, that's the larger question.
Cafe Press.
Oh, okay.
And I'm curious about how the collection started. Like, did you set out to start collecting these mugs, or did you get one and decide, I bet there are more?
No, it started, I was just kind of idly thinking about, like, you watch these movies and it's all the mustache twisting aliens and all that, right? and then I figure, okay, there's that guy, right? But then there's also, like, who's the accountant? Who's the guy? Who's the recruiter? Who's the HR guy?
What's
who's
the supply
who's
chain?
the guy? Yeah, who's the guy on the Death Star that has to, like, figure out the depreciation on a planet-killing ray? I mean, who's that guy? And
The actuary, right?
Yeah, he just shows up every day. He's striving to get his gold watch after 20 years, and the guy's a company man, and he's got his coffee cup. And it started, and then people started sending me them. I posted on Facebook. Here's one. Anybody get this one?
Resident Evil?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
My son played that.
Okay, here's two tough ones right here.
I do recognize Buckaroo Banzai behind you, though.
Oh, yes. Greatest movie of all time.
InGen.
Oh, that's Jurassic Park.
Yep. Man, this is a really good group here, man. Nobody ever gets so many of these.
RDA. What's the first letter? There's something.
Oh,
before.
hey, Christy, it's almost your logo there.
RDA.
Right.
Yeah.
The I in front of it, and then you can become an evil sci-fi corporation.
Swap
Don't
the
know
R
that
and the
one.
D. Yeah.
Don't know that.
Don't know what. Oh, yeah,
That's Avatar.
that's right. Yeah.
And depending on your definition of evil.
In a tech.
Oh, is that Office Space? One I
And
want to
here's
show my kids, but we have to wait.
Soylent.
Oh, well, of course.
Soylent Green.
Absolutely.
One's
Hey,
the
Phil,
easiest
Phil,
of the batch.
I hope you got an FIR mug in there somewhere. Not an evil corporation, mind you.
Yeah, so I've amassed a.
That's a good one.
Oh, Yo-Yo
Yo-Yo
Dine.
Dine.
That's Thomas Pynchon. What
Yep.
book was that? Gravity. It wasn't Gravity's Rainbow, was it? Maybe it was.
Phantom Tollbooth.
I know it was also the name of the company that Seth Godin started.
Well, it's also the evil company here too.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, but I
I'd
think
like
it
to
was,
place call to Mr. John Big Booty at the Yo-Yo Dine
yeah,
Propulsion.
but I believe Thomas Pynchon had Yo-Yo Dine in a
You did.
novel.
He originally did it, and then
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of funny story about Soylent here. My mom loves to tell this story. When the movie came out, her neighbor came up to her and they were chatting on the front porch. And the neighbor goes, well, we're going to go see this movie, Soylent Green, but we don't know anything about it. My mom goes, hold on a second. Goes to the kitchen and gets those cookie wafers and puts green food coloring on it and then wraps them up and says, why don't you snack on these at the theater? They go to the theater. The neighbor comes back and she's like, you bitch.
Excellent.
So, yeah, again, creature
Clever.
comforts. It's all about, that sort of thing. But man, no, I've never had a group nail so many of.
A bunch of nerds.
Yeah, a bunch of
Yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing, Phil? I'm not sure.
It's a good thing. It's
Nerds rule.
absolutely a good thing. Well, it's good to see y'all.
Right.
And you.
Likewise.
I mean, despite the circumstances, right? I mean, it's. We're having our virtual happy hour. We have it every other Thursday. So tonight is an on night for our virtual happy hour.
Yeah, we do the HR department every Thursday evening, 5
Oh,
o'clock.
okay. Oh, okay. Right on. You're able to sustain it weekly. Yeah, we weren't able to do that.
It's not required, so we get a mix of people.
Yeah, we're only 30 people, so.
Oh, the whole company? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we got half of that in HR.
Our former CEO is doing Dharma talks once or twice a week for staff.
Doing what? Doing what talks?
Dharma talks. I haven't done them yet because I'm busy, but kind of meditation through Zoom.
Oh, right. Okay. Got it. When you said Dharma, I heard American Dharma, that movie about Steve Bannon. I was like, what?
That's not quite the same.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to understand your background there, Shell.
I just liked it. It's
okay.
Just a coffee shop out in the woods.
Got it.
I have bunches here. Let's see if you can, as long as we're doing quizzes. We had our virtual happy hour at HR was album covers.
All right. Check that out. Nice.
So I got that one. Anybody know what that is?
Must be Grateful Dead of some kind.
It is.
Dead, right?
Probably.
It's American Beauty, which is generally considered one of their 2 best studio albums and one of the 100 best albums of all time, according to Rolling Stone.
I don't know. Rolling Stone has put Britney Spears on their cover, 5 times in my lifetime?
Yeah, well, they need to sell newsstand copies too, right?
I know.
Britney Spears is my daughter's favorite artist. So
Really?
yeah, and she's 31. So
interesting.
I was at we bought tickets. This was 1999, I think it was. Phil Lesh and friends were playing at the Oakland auditorium, and they had a fundraiser where you could go have dinner with the band. Then there was a Q&A with the band, and then you could go to the sound check the night before New Year's Eve. And we went, and somebody asked the question during the Q&A, saying, my daughter likes Britney Spears. How do I change that? And Phil's answer, for those of you who don't know, Phil Lesh is the bass player for the Grateful Dead. He said, just be happy they like music. Their tastes may evolve and it may not, but the fact that she loves music is the most important thing.
It's deep, yeah.
I thought it was a great answer.
Yeah.
So let's see if you can.
My 16-year-old is a big Foreigner fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I took my husband to see them a couple of years ago, and she knew all the songs. Perfect.
Wow.
Is Kelly Hansen still the vocalist, or have they gone back to Lou Gramm?
It was still the new.
Is the new still the new?
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago, but yeah.
Okay.
You did good. It was a good concert. Smaller venue than they used to do in for.
And it's funny too, because it's one of those bands that it's always on the periphery of people's consciousness, that everybody knows the name, right? Or everybody knows the songs. Few people know the name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's very easy to go urgent.
Well, her favorite was Queen. She was playing Queen this morning before an interview to prepare herself.
Yeah, my daughter, when she hears these classics, is like, oh, wow, they're doing a remake of a song on Glee. And I'm like, no, it's the other way around. Oh, this is good.
Well, I remember it was about 10 years ago where the Who played the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I remember that.
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I go, how many people are watching this going, who are these old guys playing a medley of the intro credits to CSI? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like Baba O'Reilly, Who Are You? And
yeah. Revolution. Those.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually saw the Who do Quadrophenia.
Front to back?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was awesome. It was staged, right? So they had Billy Idol did one song
right.
in character. Gary Glitter, which I think they probably regret now, but
wasn't Tina Turner part of that cast? Or?
no, I mean she may have done it in a different tour or a different stop, but no. Saw this in San Jose, but it was amazing. It was multimedia, so there was all kinds of visuals, and then after they finished Quadrophenia, they came out and did just some of their hits.
No kidding, that's great.
So Dan, you changed your background.
I did. Since we were in sci-fi, I figured I had to throw something in the background there. Anybody know what that is?
The Expanse?
Red Dwarf?
Expanse, yes.
No,
Expanse.
I loved it. I've only seen the first season.
Yeah, it's good.
But I also read the first book that it's based on.
Right.
Yeah, I've read all the books and watched the 5 seasons. It was excellent.
I just haven't had time, but my son he's read all the books. And there's apparently 1 or 2 more in the works.
Yeah, we just started watching it, and what's interesting is that my wife Leticia, we typically have an agreement when it comes to science fiction, which is her thing is as long as spaceships aren't involved, it's cool, right? So like Twilight Zone type stuff, that stuff that or Black Mirror, most of Black Mirror, which tends to take place, on terra firma, perfectly okay. But as soon as spaceships start flying around, it's like, yeah, forget it. And interestingly, Expanse has been the exception.
Is that talking, Tina?
Well, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Expanse just because it was a good story. It was a very enjoyable kind of, and just done very well.
I've always loved the idea of detectives in space.
To Serve Man happens on terra firma, but it does involve a spaceship. So
yeah, but it lands. It lands in more or less. Well, no, it takes off at the end, doesn't it? I don't know. Well,
We wouldn't make it without.
I don't even know.
I have been watching Picard, which I think is.
I have yet to watch that one.
It's well done.
Couldn't get into that at all. I saw 1 episode and half of the second, and I stopped.
Give it to like the 3rd or the 4th. There's one episode that I thought was one of the finest episodes of sci-fi on TV I've ever seen. I don't know if you know, Michael Chabon and his wife Ayelet Waldman are behind it and have written episodes. Michael Chabon is a serious author. He wrote The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, and the Yiddish Detectives Union, and I mean, he's really good, and his wife's an author too. There you go.
The Yiddish Detective.
It's wonderful. It's a completely fanciful alternative reality story where all of the Jews relocated to Alaska. After World War II, and now their lease on it is running out.
Oh my gosh.
And it centers on a couple of cops. But it's really. Are you reading that now, Jeff? You're muted.
Actually, I've picked it up and put it down so many times. One of my coworkers bought it for me because she knows I like comics and there's the Jewish angle and all this kind of stuff. It's like on my list of things to get to. It's just. I don't want to say it's dense. It's thick, and there's so many other.
I loved
competitions.
It
sounds really good.
It's in my top 10 books of all time list.
Well, I just found it.
That's why I have it handy right here because I always mean I have to read this, and
the Yiddish Policemen's Union. Okay.
All right. Hey, great to see y'all. I got to bounce to my next thing. Just wanted to say hello.
Okay, great to see you. We're here every Thursday, Phil.
Come back with more mugs, Phil. Yeah, come back with more mugs.
So wait, every Thursday at this time?
Every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
At this link?
Yep. Yeah, same coordinates don't change. It's a recurring meeting.
All right. Oh, hey, Tom.
Hey, Phil. How are you?
I met him for the first time in real life, last June. We've been corresponding for like how long, since 03, 04. We finally met up when I was in Seattle last June. Good to see you. All right, gang, have a good one.
Take it easy, Phil.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
I have to drop off shortly too, but nice to see everybody.
Only got 9 minutes left anyway, so that's okay.
Yeah. And now I've learned about the Yiddish Policeman Union.
It's a fun book. It's unique. It's original. But I loved Cavalier and Clay. You actually have Stan Lee and some of the other early comic icons are characters in the book.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Like the little I've read, I've really enjoyed it, but I just have to dedicate time to it.
You'll have to read it for next week. Do a book report.
That's right. Everybody has to read it for next week. That's.
I'm without a commute. I'm not getting as many books listened to as normal.
Yeah, me too. I actually have to go. You all probably already know I'm getting radiation treatment for prostate cancer. So I have a 20-minute drive each way every day to the clinic. So I'm actually listening to a book with spaceships. My son recommended it.
Out of, I was going to ask you out of curiosity, Neville and Shell, is the podcast getting more listens while people are away or less because they're not commuting?
What I find is that it is about the same. What happens is the week we release a show, we get roughly the same amount of listens. And then over the next 2 or 3 months, it doubles. I don't know if people are catching up or finding it or, I don't know. But after about 3 months, every episode doubles the numbers from the week it was released. So.
Well, that's interesting.
Which I find interesting because we talk about timely stuff. It's not really an evergreen type of show.
Yeah, that's interesting. I co-hosted another podcast called the Small Data Forum podcast, which is to do with data and politics in the UK with 2 others. And we've seen something similar, actually, where the kind of long tail is upwards after the episode comes out. And it increases its listenership about 3 to 4 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks after it's a monthly. And that started in February. Can't put my finger on why.
I'm way behind on podcasts. It's actually starting to stress me out. I've got so much.
I'm way behind on podcasts.
It is stressing me out.
I'm way behind too because of no commuting.
Right.
Yeah, that's my point. Like I'm normally on top of it. I'm now completely.
You have to be very ruthless. I do this. I have my phone gets crammed up with stuff queued up that I've not listened to. I just delete them.
Yeah.
Don't think twice.
It's hard, Neville. It's hard.
I know, Tom, but you got to do it, man. You got to do it. You drive you nuts otherwise.
I can't listen while I'm working because it just takes too much concentration. I have music going. Walk the dog. That's when I'm getting my podcasts in, but it's not the same amount of time.
For me, it's running on the treadmill. But it's also, I wonder if it's too, I don't know about you all, but like I'm not listening to stuff on a date like I don't have, Tuesdays are FIR day or something like that. I batch stuff. And so I'll be listening to like 6 or 8 episodes of a certain podcast and I'll basically get caught up. And then I'll be like, oh, let me go on to something else. And I'll listen to like 6 or 8, whatever podcasts of that. And then, so it may be some of that too.
I think it's, I wouldn't have the bandwidth to do that, Dan, to be frank. I couldn't do it. So it's too organized for me, to be honest. It's very random. But
it's random to me. It's because I look at it, it's like, oh, what have I listened to today? Okay, and then I just kind of let it keep on playing over the next couple of days while I'm running. And then it's like, there's no more podcast to listen to. Let me go shift to something else. It's
I didn't have a treadmill. That's the difference. Yeah, I don't.
And then somewhere in there, it's like, oh, there was an FIR episode I should listen to, maybe.
Michelle and I have been going for drives on Sundays because we can, unlike in the UK, I guess. But we drove up to San Rafael and back. We don't get out of the car. It's just a drive. We went to San Rafael and back once we crossed the San Mateo Bridge and came back through the city. And we listen to podcasts then, but they're ones that she likes. Not that I don't, but it's not helping me get caught up on mine. We're listening to lore and criminal and things like that, but it doesn't help me get caught up on the business and the communication podcasts.
She doesn't want to listen to your business podcast show? Come on.
Go figure.
But your comment on that, there was some comment I saw floating around social media around how we've all turned into dogs or something. We all want to get out and go for a ride, and
Yep.
Anyway. Well, great to see you all. I've got to drop off to get ready for a meeting. Bye.
Okay. See you then. See you next week, maybe.
Yeah.
We've only got about 3 minutes left anyway. So anything else anybody wants to talk about? Because I made a list of things just in case we ran out of conversation fodder. One of the stories I found here that I found really interesting is that the use of GIFs or GIFs, depending on your persuasion, is up. And they were analyzing what kind people were sharing. Here it is. Pull this up.
Did it say by age group?
I don't remember, but let me share the screen.
Or about the setting, like is it in a social setting or?
Right.
People are using even GIFs to feel together while being apart, but which ones? So this is an analysis of Giphy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People searched less in April for coronavirus-related GIFs, looking for more around timely moments and holidays. Also, encourage others, include, laughs. So.
Absolutely. I think especially, just trying to stay connected with people in a social way. That's one way people are doing that. And we have a coworker who everybody did one of those parades for her birthday, and those who couldn't be there sent a GIF of them in a parade or something like that, or a pig. I did a pig in a truck. So, I think that's just another way to be in touch.
Today is my granddaughter's 5th birthday, and she lives here with us. So that works out.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we talked, I think, on an earlier one of these, or maybe Neville, you and I talked about it on FIR, the use of emojis during all of this has just skyrocketed. And
yeah, it has.
There are linguists who are making the case that this demonstrates that it makes sense to incorporate emojis into business communication.
Well, I've noticed colleagues doing this a lot. In fact, I caught myself the other day looking at a conversation I'd had on Slack with somebody. I thought, my God, we exchanged, I think it was like 11 messages. So each of them was just a GIF, just an emoji.
Just an emoji. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of a new thing. Although I do it a lot, but I'm seeing that more and more happening in workplace type stuff on Slack in particular. One reason I suspect is because Slack makes it very easy to do it. And so finding emoji and inserting it is not a task, and it reflects, I think, a more informal way people like communicating. It doesn't seem to be age related.
No,
it's not like just the younger folks doing it. It's everyone. But it's
the argument was
with just emojis as to express what it is you want to say, and the other person in the conversation is able to respond, so it's connected with just emojis. Quite clever.
And the argument that I read in this article is that it is hard to convey, even on Zoom, all of the body language and all of the emotion that may
No,
be.
you can't.
You can't when you're face to face.
No, you can't do body language.
So
emotion you can, sure.
Yeah,
you can.
So emoji is the supplemental means of conveying what you're feeling and help people understand what you're expressing or why you're expressing it the way you are. And they say that can't hurt in business. Got to stop thinking of it as something the kids do.
I think y'all reported on that like a year or more ago, encouraging professionals to use emojis in their communication.
Well, I remember an article from linguists talking about the fact that it's a visual supplement to written language, and the combination is more effective at conveying what you're trying to get across than words alone. But now during this, when we're all looking for that emotional connection, it's played even a bigger role.
And Slack even lets you create your own.
The ancient Egyptians.
Sorry, Bill?
They said maybe we'll all go back to hieroglyphics.
Yeah, well, they kind of are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Paul Barton mentioned to me on LinkedIn that he's not able to join us for these, but he enjoys listening to them on his walk. So people are actually listening to
that's good.
The audio of these chats.
He's going to have to watch the video for the mugs.
You may need to post pictures of them. You may need to.
Yeah.
All right. It's 11 and I have to go. So
me too.
Good to see you. We'll be back next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good week.
Take it easy. Good to see you all.
See you. Stay safe. Bye. Bye.